I don't think people get into politics because they're bad people. I don't think people in politics are bad people. I think that the systems we have constructed here in Alabama make it very difficult for people to remain good people while serving in that position. And that's a lot about money. It's a lot about the people who make decisions. It's a lot about people who are beholden to other people. And so, I mean, all those things are difficult. And if we're ever going to face that, we really have to address those underlying systems. I think I mentioned it in there, and I only mentioned it as a little bit of a bit. But the big difference to me, I mean, and trust me, I've been doing this a long time, and I've seen crooks of all description. But the difference in the Republicans and the Democrats is, and this is a big difference that I made into a small line, was then somebody would inevitably introduce the stupidest bill known to man. For years we could count on it dying quietly in Hank Sanders' committee or something, you know. I mean, it would go away without incident, right? And we kind of got spoiled for that. I mean, because you can look back and there wasn't a whole lot of, the absurdity that we see today. Yeah. And now, I mean, it's like a contest for the stupidest bill. The more stupid bills we can pass, the less you'll think about what real issues are out there. And so, I mean, when the Democrats were in power, the corruption was like, I got a second job, so I got a little, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Corruption here is setting up vast systems to subvert the ethics law that you just passed. So, I mean, there are differences. And so the answer to your question in a long and winding way is I have more hope because I've learned to appreciate petty corruption more than corruption on a massive scale.
Let me clarify, sort of add to that. There's been a lot of bad legislation that has been passed. Do you think there's any chance that we can get rid of any of that if we can get the Democrats back in charge again?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a humongous if, but yeah. I mean, if you put reasonable people in positions of power and reasonable things should happen, right? I mean, that would be the goal.
Do you think we ought to get a new constitution?
That is a hard question because she asked, do I think we need to get a new constitution? Because will we again? Well, I mean, it's again, but go back and think about it a second. Of course we need a new constitution. It's terrible, and it sets up all these things that allow these things to happen. It concentrates power in the state legislature in a way that gives them authority they should never have and makes them commodities to be bought and sold. With me, on the other side, are you going to trust them to do this? I mean, let's face it. The people who wrote the 1901 Constitution were horrible racists and elitists who built for themselves a structure to perpetuate their world. Today, the Alabama legislature, and the vast majority, is just as bad. Only, I have no confidence that they are smarter. So, do you really want to roll those dice and say the devil we don't know is going to be better than that devil we've had to live with for 115 years? And maybe you're more optimistic than I am. And that's a horrible thing. I hate to say that. I don't want to say that. But if we're going to figure out a way to do it, we got to do it without them.
Yes.
And so they just scare me.